Hey, Bill Wood here.
Bill Burns.
And here we are with another GAC drum video, this time on a full-size kit versus a compact kit.
So there's a lot of discussion in the drum industry. Pretty much every company is bringing out a kit, something like this, you know, whether it be a 16-inch kick, a 14-inch kick, or a standard like jazz kit. A lot of drummers are really shining to it because, let's face it, you don't want to carry a drum kit like that to a little club gig and then let everyone else use it, all that kerfuffle, getting it in hard cases, hiring a van. This fits in the back of your hatchback and makes things a lot easier. Then the pros of a big kit obviously are,
you've got that big sound, you know, you've got the immediate coverage there whether you need mics or not. So you've got that straight away. You've also got the image, you know, you've got this big kind of thing around you that just feels fantastic to play, especially in a live situation. And the sound just fills out all the gaps, you know.
So sound being the main thing that differentiates here. My kit has a bit of a plus because it's easier to carry, but then obviously the visual aesthetic on a bigger gig, you kind of want that bigger kit. But this kit really does pack a punch for what it is. I mean, it's a 16-inch kick, 10, 13, and then a 13-inch snare. These are poplar shells, so this kit is really cheap in terms of the money, but in terms of the sound and the build quality, like all the Pearl hardware is rock solid. But yeah, like we were saying, the sound, they're very different in that this will push out a lot more low end, so it'll travel a lot better. And then this will have a little bit more of the high and mid frequencies, but what that gives you is a lot of punch. So it depends on the gig, but if these are both getting mic'd up and your sound engineer knows what he's doing, this can compete with this in terms of sound. And then this maybe can't do what this can do. So because I'm sat behind this kit, I'm being a bit favourative towards this, so I'll let Bill take over and tell you why that kit sounds better than this one.
I guess Bill's ticked the majority of the boxes there. First of all, the main thing you want when you're playing an acoustic kit is you want to be able to feel it, you know, you want that kind of, that grumble from when you hit the drums. You really get that with something of this size. It's a Tama Hyperdrive with the matte black vertical stripe duo range, so it's got this really strange and unique configuration, keeping it with modern drummers today. You've got your 12 here, you've got your 16 floor tom, your 20 kick, and then you've got a 14x9 snare drum / floor tom that's on legs there. And you just, it's crazy, right? Yeah, it's crazy. And that's kind of, I guess, inspired by a lot of these fusion drummers, Larnell, Sput, etc., etc. And to complement that, which are all very low sounding drums, maple shells, we've got a brass Starphonic 10 lug here, 14x6.5. This thing can do anything you want it to. But really, if you were to go to a kind of gig where it didn't call for big sounding drums, you wanted something a little bit tighter, maybe a jazz combo show or something, you wouldn't want to play this, but anything else, this can do it.
In terms of genre specific, I think this can pretty much cover anything. The only thing that I would worry about is the aesthetic. So, all you metal drummers, I wouldn't turn up playing double kick on a 16-inch bass drum.
Especially
it might
with the
sound,
riser.
yeah,
With the riser.
it might sound fine eventually, after a little bit of tweaking, but it'd just look really weird, wouldn't it? So, should we talk about cymbals? So we got like a bunch of really nice stuff.
We've tried to kind of match each other's cymbals, keeping in mind you've got the contrasting kits smaller and the bigger. So on mine, I've basically got full-size cymbals all round. I have 14-inch click hats, which are my favourite set of Sabian hats. And then also Sabian, a legacy 18-inch crash. I actually happen to own both of these, and beautiful, thin, very clear sounding cymbal and very defined hats. I've got a huge Sabian Big and Ugly Pandora Ride here, 24 inches. This thing is dry as it comes, and really expressive cymbal, great definition on the stick.
Okay, so in my kit I have two parts of the new Zildjian A City pack. So over here I've got some really cute new 12-inch new beat hi-hats, A's. Really cool, really articulate. And then over here the Uptown Ride, so this is something really special. Something kind of similar to the old school Special Dry before they brought out the new version of it.
And quite similar to the breakbeat as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, very much so. Well, yeah. And it really does do a lot of, it covers a lot of ground. But with it being at 18, when I first heard of it, I saw it and was like, that's my bag, because it looks like a cymbal that I'll play. But then I was 18, it might not work. It actually sounds great.
It just sounds like almost like an 18-inch version of that, but a little bit more versatile, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, it cuts through a little bit better than that. It hasn't got as much of that like low end, nothing growls like crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
And then my crash to my left, I couldn't bring myself to play the cymbal that comes with the pack because it's really small. I'm one of them people. Hate me.
He struggled to play that kit. We had to take some convincing to get him on the small one.
So this is the new Sweet Crash 18-inch K. Really beautiful cymbal, more of the same from the K line, but just something a little bit different. I do really like these, they stand out a lot. I mean, it's just a really great 18-inch crash. There's nothing too crazy about it, there's nothing bad about it. It sits in the middle for me. And then to compete with Bill's monstrosity over there, I decided to stack up a 12-inch A Splash with one of these spiral stacker thingy doodads. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. It's not as staccato as that, but it's got its own sort of character. Yeah, so that's it for the cymbals. So in an ideal world, this is where I do. I tend to use both. So I have a kit like this, kept at the studio where I practice, and that's pretty much for any big gigs, studio sessions, that sort of thing. And then my compact kit, which is a Yamaha Bop kit, stays in cases right by my front door, ready to go in the car for any little gigs, any little deps, last minute things, and it just saves you back, you know, especially if you just load it into your car, you can get it in your car. That is what I was meant to say.
That's one of the main things. And if push comes to shove, you can carry it, get it on a bloody skateboard and wheel it to the gigs. So it's manageable is what we're getting to. It's a lot more manageable to kind of logistically to get around. And there's not much sound compromise from it either. So there it is, that's our video demo of a full-size kit versus a compact kit.
Let us know in the comments below which one you pick, the little kit, the big kit, or are you one of them guys who likes both?
And if you like what you see and you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up and a little subscribe with the button just below.